The 2025-26 Premier League season starts today, which means Fantasy Premier League is back, and I thought I'd make an FPL video because it's something I wanted to do years ago, and in fact I kind of did start doing it years ago. Back in 2013-14 I uploaded a couple videos, one of which to introduce my Golden FM FPL League, which you can join still, by the way. There's a link and a code in the description below. I started that 12 years ago. Crazy. And I also did a video where I introduced my first squad, I think, my Game Week 1 squad. And I did quite well in that first season. I'll show you my Game Week history in a bit. Because I have quite a long history of fantasy football. I first did it back in school. There was like this school run thing. I don't know if it was a nationwide fantasy game or just for my school, but I found some old certificates in the loft where I was manager of the month for my school. So I don't know what that's all about. I'll have to dig them out and see what that was. But then I did, I was part of a league in sixth form, just a small one amongst some people. I don't know if that was Sky Fantasy Football or FPL, can't really remember, or another game. I did Championship Fantasy Football when I was at university. And then I got back into Premier League stuff, FPL. I think I had an old account where I did it during university, but then I properly got into it in the 2013-14 season when I created the Golden FM League. And I will just show you my history. I kind of had a very fluky first season where I finished in the top 100,000. I didn't realise how well I'd done at the time. I think the first few weeks I was in the top 1,000, and I just didn't really know what the context was there. And then a few seasons where I just was not great. This 2020 season, that was COVID. I stopped playing FPL. I stopped all football stuff. I stopped my YouTube channel. Everything football related just stopped in my life. And but then that summer, I wasn't doing Football Manager stuff. I wasn't doing YouTube. I got really into watching FPL YouTube. And there's some people out there with over 200,000 subscribers now. It's huge. It really is huge. And I kind of wish I'd carried on doing that FPL stuff back when I started YouTube all those years ago. But never mind. Here we are. Let's see how this goes. This isn't going to be a regular series, I don't think. It's just a video, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I got really into it. I finished 80,000th. I then finished 23,619th, my best ever season, and then 58,344th in the 22-23 season. Fell off quite a bit in 23-24, and last year was all right. I was okay. I wasn't completely happy because I lost my mini league to my best friend by about 10 points, which was a bit unfortunate. So I'm back, and I'm trying things differently. Maybe I should return to this approach where I was having a look at all the FPL YouTubers, not copying them, but using their advice. But I'm not. I'll show you my team. I'll show you what I'm doing. So this year we're able to use the chips twice. So you've got bench boost, free hit, triple captain. First half of the season you need to use them, and then they get reset for the second half. I hate using bench boost, so I've decided to get it out the way in week 1. And it's a brave move because it means I have to wildcard early. I possibly might even wildcard in week 2, which is a bit ridiculous. But I want to try something different. This is a new season with a new approach, double the chips. Why not try something different? So I'm going with a double Nottingham Forest defence in Sells and Milinkovic. They've been incredibly solid. I might change the personnel up until deadline. I might go with... There might be the odd switch here, but as of 10:30 in the morning on the day FPL goes live, the day the 25-26 season starts, I've got this team. I've also got double Spurs defence, which... Even against Burnley, Spurs could concede. Burnley are solid. They don't really attack from what I've seen in the Championship. Obviously, they do attack, but they don't score many goals. So if I'm going to go with Spurs at home against Burnley, surely got to hope for something there. I'm a West Ham fan, so I won't mind if Spurs lose, of course. And it's also worth going for 3 West Ham players. I don't usually pick West Ham players. I'm not one of those fans that pick 3 players from my own team. but I'm contradicting myself there because I have 3 players from my own team. I usually only have Bowen. I think I had Souček a few years ago when he was on fire, but I've avoided the defence for a long time. But yeah, Fulkrug and Bowen have looked good in pre-season, and it's Sunderland, which, yeah, on paper we're playing a promoted team. That's why I've gone for it. But Sunderland away, first game of the season, they're on a high from the playoffs, back in the Premier League. I can see us losing, I really can. But from an FPL point of view, I've just got to go for it. You may have spotted, I have avoided Salah. I've avoided Liverpool defence. I think Bournemouth will score. Salah looked poor in pre-season. Looked average at the end of last season. Maybe that's because they didn't have much to play for. I'm gambling. I'm going with that Salah for this week 1, and I'm going to captain Haaland against Wolves. Haaland started fast last season, then obviously dropped off, got injured, etc. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go Haaland captain against Wolves, who I think look quite weak. We shall see. Reinders has looked good in pre-season too. I think they've only played 1 pre-season game, but don't know. It's 5.5 million. I like to pick 1 to 3 new players to the league each year, and generally it goes wrong. But I'm going to go with Wirtz, Reinders and Juve, and we'll see what happens in this first week. Aït-Nouri is also another new transfer, but he knows the Premier League. He's so attacking, and for City, come on. I mean, against his old club as well. I mean, it's kind of surely written in the stars that he's going to do well against them. But we shall see. Ndiaye as well against Leeds, another promoted team. Palmer against Palace. So I don't have Saka, I don't have Fernandes, Bruno, I don't have Salah. Gone for Palmer against Palace because they're at home. But Palace obviously did well in the Community Shield, better than everyone expected. But they did concede a couple, so I don't know. Palmer seems like a different player now since the Club World Cup. He had that second half of last year, just fell off, didn't really do much. Very creative still, but just wasn't getting the points in FPL. And he seems to be back, so I'm going for it. Double Brighton on the bench as well. So De Kuyper, is that how you pronounce it? Belgian left wing back against Fulham. I don't know about Fulham this year. I don't do Premier League. I did do a Premier League prediction series years ago, like 10 years ago. I don't think it did very well. I don't think I did very well with those predictions. But I'm just wondering about Fulham this year. I think they're going to be safe, mid-table-ish, but maybe not as good as last year, but we shall see. And Brighton, they just seem to keep going, don't they? And I've gone for Jorginho Rutter, who is a midfielder, but has been playing up front, out of position, 6 million. Really good option, I think. So we shall see. But yeah, that Forest double defence, Spurs double defence. If they concede, then the bench boost won't have done particularly well. But I'm risking it. I'm going with this bench boost. Week 1, I might change the odd player here and there. I'm risking going with that Salah. But if I wildcard very early on, I can get them back in. I can just reassess. I always find that week 1, for me, it's either gone really well or really poorly. And then if it goes really poorly, I'm thinking, I want to rip up my team. And it's not necessarily the best thing to do. But with this, it kind of gives me an excuse to rip up the team because I know it's not good enough for those first few weeks, really. It looks good on paper for week 1. And then after that, not sure. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm being brave and maybe stupid. If I was picking a team for the first few weeks, it would look extremely different to this. I might not have Haaland. I might have gone with Salah. Probably would have gone with Bruno Fernandes, who's just going to be feeding so many attacking Man United players. I think they're going to be a lot better this year, unfortunately. But yeah, sorry Man United fans. Man United is just the team that I really disliked growing up. I grew up in Chelmsford in Essex, and there were a lot of West Ham fans. Quite a lot of other London supporters as well. But Man United was probably the most supported club after West Ham. And in primary school in particular, it's just glory hunters, really. And they just won everything. I was born in 91. I was old enough to remember Man United's dominance for years. And it was just boring, them winning everything. I didn't like it. So sorry. I've always had that dislike for Man United because of my youth, and it's just the way it is. But I think they're going to have a decent season this year without European football. And they have made some brilliant attacking signings. So, yeah, I won't be surprised if they score a lot of goals this year with Bruno Fernandes pulling the strings. Anyway, went off on a bit of a tangent there. If you want to listen to my opinion about football, then let me know. I do have opinions about football. Never really talked about real football because this channel has always been about Football Manager, but I might try some different avenues. Football Manager, FPL, real life football, me rambling away, talking and going for a walk in the woods. But thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoy the start of the Premier League season this weekend and all other football as well. Obviously, most of the other domestic leagues have also started. So yeah, I will see you soon, hopefully.